Hello, my friends in YouTube. Tonight, we're going to be having a special guest on this channel. And this lady is a friend of mine. She's a serious geek. Before I bring in our guest, I do want to thank the chat for arriving here promptly and on time. We are not Friday Night Tights or other great and much bigger podcasts and services. We are mostly on time, except for the Saturdays I run. So first off, I want to thank Shadow and Sun. And he is already a fan. Indigo Dragon's like, who is this? And I introduce her, say she's a fantastic person. She knows her material, and anything she's into, she's going to know. So if you guys have questions about Morbius or other select bits of Marvel lore, she actually does know a lot of various comics within the MCU, the Marvel Comics universe. Indigo Dragon, thank you for showing up. Rabid Slug Ouchies, nerds are cool. Yes, they are. And then we're talking about Star Trek II in the theaters. Poor Spock. Great movie. One of my favorite. Actually, that is probably my second favorite Star Trek movie because I do like the Undiscovered Country a little more. I know. But I really thought that Khan was probably the best foe that the Shatner had. Still considered by many to be the best. Shadow and Sun asks, is this going to be a PG-13 interview? Well, let me just say this. It will not be X-rated. I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to be of a foul result. Okay? We want to see all the... I want to see drive-ins should be back. Oh, no, we've got a pandemic. Stay in your vehicle, keep your windows up, and enjoy the movie. Be perfect. Talk about movies, Goonies, Muppets film. Last drive-in I was at was Ultra in 2015. And, ooh. Excellent. All right. I will try to keep it around Peggy 15, okay? And it looks like Janet is getting herself situated. Hello, Jackie Blue. How are you? Well, she was in our stream over the weekend. Thank you for returning. Hello, Rabbit Slug Ouchies. We are getting ready to bring in our guest tonight. And everybody, if you can remember, at the top of your YouTube chat, there is a thing that says top chat, and there's another thing that says live chat. The last thing before I bring in Janet, a friend of mine had a really bad situation happen, and his mother had passed, and we are trying to get Janet. I'll just bring Janet in here. Maybe she has the hot link to it. And if she does, then I'll have it. But you're going to probably see my Stream Elements bot. It's up and running. There is a tip jar in there. Don't use it. Don't. If you guys feel like giving anything tonight, there's a friend of ours named Drew Taylor. And over the course of this interview and discussion, this friend of mine that's coming on here, if you guys feel like you need to be giving away something, give to Drew. Drew's going through a lot bigger personal crisis than what I'm going through right now. And I want to make sure that I want to see that he's able to make it through, because he's going through the worst. He's going through something that I've not gone through yet. And I know it'll happen, but he's in a much worse position. And I want him to get enough to where he crests that mountain. Janet, are you in, hon?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. I sent you the link on Discord for Drew's mother's memorial service thing.
Yes. All right. Here is the link. If you guys are feeling any sort of if you're feeling like giving, if you're in a position, don't put yourself in a bad spot. But that would be where I want anything that comes out of this stream to go to tonight. There is another stream that I'll be giving links to when we are getting ready to shut down. and that will be for our friends over at Yelling at Parked Cars, because we probably will not run as late as that. But I would love to see Drew have some good come out of this. How are you? I know I just asked you
Are
that.
you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So make sure I didn't know if you were talking to somebody in the chat or not.
No.
So
I just want to make sure that my guest is in good and prime condition.
yeah, I had an alcoholic beverage and I'm relaxing. I got socks on. I'm doing pretty good. Relaxed. I'm ready to get some hate from some of the people who've already seen the movie that don't like it, but I really did like it.
I mean, a lot of people, when I first saw Guardians of the Galaxy, they were giving it grief.
I love Guardians. That was great.
I think it got a lot better love after the second or third weekend.
It just depends.
Um,
So said something about my socks. My feet are cold. I can't help it. I have to wear socks. Hello, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. I'm not very good at typing fast, so.
I don't expect that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I prefer, out of all the Marvel comics, that's probably the one that I would go for omnibuses for. I would probably be delving into that next. Like I said, I got an omnibus for Thor from the Simonson run, and I thought that was amazing. Up until I read Ragnarok, and even with just 18 issues, that one there gives serious competition to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Thor. I mean, he's okay, but he wasn't one of my favorites, so I really didn't pay a lot of attention to the comic books or anything like that. I was a young girl that waited by my comic books to get my comic book and read about Superman and Wonder Woman falling in love and getting married, stuff like that. That's how stupid I was when it came to the DC comics. But I hoped that. I thought it would be so romantic because they're both powerful, you know.
They could withstand each other.
Yeah, they could be with themselves with each other and not have to worry about hurting someone else or anything like that because of their strength. Things like that. I just thought that would be romantic. And they were both good looking. I mean, you would think they'd be interested in each other, but they weren't. If you play the Lego Batman games, you know they hate each other because they make them not like each other at all in the game.
What?
Yeah.
I've not played it yet.
It's fun. I love Lego Batman. I played all of them. Now I'm wanting to play. I heard that Morbius is now a character in one of the games, so I got to find out which Lego game he's in so I can play it.
That sounds pretty sweet. I need more hours in my day. I want to play more video games. I really do. There's also a couple video games that I need to beat first. But are you into Elden Ring? Go ahead.
Offer to babysit once in a while for someone's kids, and then you can play video games and people can't make fun of you. That's why I babysit at least twice a month.
That's a good idea.
And then if they're little, like 5 and under, like I'm going to have, then maybe you have a chance to win. Because if they're 10, you ain't winning. They're good. These kids are good at video games nowadays.
Yeah.
The ones I've played. I mean, I played SpongeBob SquarePants, and I can't even drive that hamburger car. I can't drive it for, very far at all. I'm crashing. The kids are flying by me. So there you go. I suck.
There's certain games I'm horrible at. I'm not going to lie. Not all games, but there's certain games I'm terrible at.
Well, one of my very favorite games was Blood Rain. I played it. I played both games over and over again many times. Absolutely loved it. And I played, let's see. God, what was the other one? I liked Munch's Odyssey. I played that.
Every
the original Xbox. And when it broke, I would take it and get it fixed. and bring it back because I liked my games, the ones I had. And I just had it to like beginning of last year, and it finally gave out, and they said they couldn't fix it. So I was like, oh well. So I really haven't played that many games since. And now I played on the Oculus a few times. It's fun. Have you ever played Oculus?
Not yet.
Oh, they're pretty cool. Pretty fun. It's like really being in a room. It's really cool. I mean, it really is. You got to make sure you got a clear area. You'll fall all over the place. You know what I mean? Falling because you're wearing a mask and you think you're in a room, you know, and you make sure you're supposed to. It helps you set up your little barrier, you know, so that you make sure you stay within that area. From the Oculus tells you not to go that far or whatever. They put obstacles in your way so you can't go past it or trip over your furniture. So just make sure you fix it up and you'll be fine. But it's fun. You need to try it.
I'll have to do that. There's a couple games I want to play with an Oculus, but my variety of game that I really want to play with VR, I don't think I would need that because they're both of them are cockpit games, and so you'd be pretty much in your chair and you've got everything zooming around you, so you'd be able to look at the scenery out the window, but you're not in danger of actually falling out of your chair, or hopefully not.
Yeah, I'd just get car sick in that game. I get sickness really, really easily, so I have to be real careful about what kind of games I play. Sucks. I know. I'm a wimp when it comes to that. I mean, I can't even go to the fair and play certain games. You know, the ones that they have the big game rooms where you can go in and play all these games, really cool stuff. If it's a car or anything like that, and I'll get sick. So I just don't do it. I just don't do them. But I love roller coasters. I've never gotten sick on a roller coaster. That's weird, isn't it?
I need to get back into that because I used to do that in my 20s, and we had a roller coaster park up north in Gurnee, Illinois. But the Great America used to be Marriott's, now it's a Six Flags, and that's a really good roller coaster park for Illinois. That's probably the best we have, even though St. Louis is not too far away, but it's actually not St. Louis. It's more like St. Charles or some like an hour out of St. Louis. It takes you longer to get to it at the Mississippi River on 44 than it does from Decatur to St. Louis. I don't know why. Ooh, there are woke breakers in here. Anyway, what was the last roller coaster you read? You took a ride on?
I think it was at I think it was the Batman one or the Hulk one. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was, I mean, it tore us up. I mean, we were sore the next day. That's what I mean. And it was at Universal Studios.
That Hulk one, they've redone that, didn't they?
Well, it was 2 years ago, so I don't know if it had been redone by then. But man, I tell you, the Simpson ride though at Universal was freaking awesome. That was the best ride in the whole park, I thought. It was like a 3D kind of thing, and you're riding around in it and stuff. It was like 3D, and it had Krusty the Clown and stuff. It was really good.
So you get a visor or a helmet to wear?
I didn't wear any helmet.
Oh, well, you're saying it's 3D.
Well, I mean, the pictures around you. It was all the way all the way above your head, all around the poster thing. It was really cool. It was fun. But there was a mummy ride that I rode in on it too, and you went through this one part where you're going up and there's like hot fire all the way around you and you could feel the heat. So I don't know if they used heaters or whatever, but it looked really real, like you were going to get burned up. It was fun. I love Universal though. If I was going to take some people there, that's where I would go. And I heard that in Halloween season or whatever during October that they have some really cool, you know, haunted attraction stuff. I've never gotten to go on Halloween. That's one of my favorite holidays. I love dressing up and being crazy and stuff for Halloween. It's fun.
The last roller coaster I had a chance to ride actually in the flesh was the Batman ride. And just a month before that, and this was in St. Louis, Missouri, and then before that, the big roller coaster I'd ridden was the Shockwave, which was in Great America, and that had 7 inversions. So I was pretty happy with that. Although the next day you talk about being beat up by a roller coaster, it would batter you against the 2 giant foam cushions that would make you bleed out your ears.
Yeah, were you sore the next day? Like your neck and your shoulders? Yeah, that's how
Mhm.
after I rode the Hulk ride. Because you tense up, when you're doing the different things. And then I also rode that one at Six Flags 2 years ago, and it wasn't. It was the newer one. I can't remember the name of it right this second, but it was really good. And the wooden one was really fun too. They had the largest wooden roller coaster, and you could hear all the creaking and crackling while you're riding it, like it's going to collapse any moment. So it makes it really scary. But I can't remember the name of it right this second.
We just opened up a new wooden roller coaster called the Texas Stingray here in San Antonio, and that
Hmm.
is at SeaWorld. I never knew before I moved here, I never knew that SeaWorld would go into roller coasters and try to be a big game park, but they are a huge park here, and they have 2 or 3 roller coasters, a couple log rides, and they've got some serious money in San Antonio. The problem with the SeaWorld is that we have Fiesta, Texas, which is now a Six Flags park, and it has been for about 20 years.
Hmm.
They've got the Rattler, which about 10 years ago turned into the Iron Rattler. And there's a company that's called Aero Roller Coasters. And those roller coasters beat me up. Like the Shockwave, uh, there was a Busch Gardens Aero roller coaster ride called the Corkscrew, I think. And those just bash your head back and forth. That's all that happens really is you get beat up. But the Rattler, when it changed over, there's a little company called Rocky Mountain Coasters, and RMC will go in and they'll take an existing ride and they will put brand new iron tracks over wooden supports. And so
Hmm.
you have a much smoother ride. It is a complete and different beast. And it when they had the Rattler at first, they had a sign just down I-10. When you leave the park, did you ride the Rattler? Are you injured? Then if so, call my law office and let's get you some money. And that was how bad the Rattler was. And now that the Iron Rattler is a thing, they've had so many people that really enjoy that roller coaster. It now has an inversion in it. It's really weird to see wooden roller coaster that flips upside down through that through
I've
the
seen
layout.
a couple on like the Travel Channel. I've seen a couple. They did a couple of like roller coaster shows or whatever, and there was a couple on there that went upside down like that, and they kind of spun like in a spiral all the way around, like a corkscrew looking thing, and the people's feet are up in the air going around and around. I don't know if I could do that. I would try it, but I'd probably throw up on everyone. But I would try it because I do love roller coasters.
Yeah.
I've never gotten sick on one yet, but I'm not on wood because I probably will. Time I get on, but saying I wouldn't. But you know how that is.
Yeah. I I used to be a lot more adventuresome, and I lived here in San Antonio for 6 years. This is going to be the first summer where I'm thinking I'm going to try to get over to Fiesta and ride the Iron Rattler. I would love to do that, and the only problem is the wife is not a roller coaster fanatic, and so we might have to what do you call that? Come together on that decision and just go to SeaWorld instead. And they've got a lot more things that she would be able to take part in because roller coasters for her probably would not be good.
We went on. There was a thing I went to when I went to Colorado. I went to this place. It's a giant canyon. God, I'm so terrible about remembering names. But it had this thing. It was called the. I think it was called the Raptor, and it was a giant swing thing. And they hold you up on this still and they let go of you and drop you over this canyon. And I thought I was going to die. I mean, I screamed the whole thing. It was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. It was so scary. If I had to pee, I probably would have peed my pants. So I'm glad I got to the bathroom before I got on it. But it was the scariest thing. I think no, it was called what is that flying dinosaur called? was
The
it?
pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl. That's what it was called. And you have to sign a waiver to ride it.
What?
You have to
Wow.
sign a waiver. I had to sign a waiver, and the thing was, the person I was going to ride with, they were like shorter and way tiny, like weighed 90 something pounds. So I had to ride with another person because they said they have to balance it. So they tried to find someone my height and size, you know, to weight both sides were the same, so you don't tilt or anything when they let go of you. And that really scared me then when I realized they said, well, can't ride together. You're not the right height and stuff. And I was like, what do you mean? And when they said, well, we don't want the swing to tilt. And I was like, what? So then I started thinking about it. But you're in line with all these people and they're all looking at you like, well, you already signed the paper. Let's go. Well, so, and then they let go of you. And all you see is the broken, nasty, dead trees and the snaggly rocks and stuff down there. That's all you see. That's all I could think about was that snapping and me falling into all that and dying. So it was scary. It really scared me. So if you ever want to go, I think it's in Colorado Springs. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's where it was. We went to 4 or 5 different places and we're trying to cram as much stuff in as we could on our vacation. Was a whole bunch of us. And we went to the Cave of Winds. I think it was at the Cave of Winds
I've
Park.
heard of that.
Okay, I think it was that. It was this ginormous canyon that they drop you over. And oh my God, it was the scariest thing. I've never done anything that's scary. And I bungee jumped. This was scarier than bungee jumping. I mean, it was so scary. So I recommend anyone who wants a thrill, go to Colorado Springs and go to the Cave of Winds and ride the whatever that was called again. I keep saying raptor, but that's not it. Pterodactyl.
Okay.
Yeah, pterodactyl, because that was scary. So, and then they can send video and share it with you because it's scary. I have a video. I'll have to send it to you one day when I can find it. I got to go through my computer and find the video because yeah, that's it. Oh, that reminds me of things. Yeah, and I went into there was a bunch of stuff there. It was a really beautiful place though to go.
That looks great.
It was awesome. It had like a little village carved out of the rocks and stuff that you could tour. You know, I love all this stuff. I love nature, and I've been to the Black Hills. I've gone, you know, I try to go to somewhere every sister vacation because I have 4 sisters, and
Okay.
ask us to please do trips together and stuff. When my mom passed, before she passed, and we try to do that. So, but it's scary, and I'm pretty adventurous, but I do want to live. I can tell you. The fear of death really did hit me really like upside the head. I mean, I must have talked. Do you think I talk a lot now? I talked like a mile a minute for like 2 hours until the adrenaline went away. So it was bad.
Rappelling sounds fun. When you actually do it, it's a rush. Jumping out of a plane, you pee yourself.
Yeah, I would try that, but I would want a tandem. I'd want to be hooked to someone else that I know wants to live.
You do that. The first 2 jumps where I'm from in Vandalia, Illinois, they would tandem jump with you, and then after that, once they see you know how to pack your chute, then they're like, okay, you can be by yourself.
And the other thing that I'm petrified of, I always wanted to try it, but I haven't been able to get the guts to do it. Ever since I saw Jaws, I just can't do it. Is go scuba diving.
Nope, 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 nope,
I
nope, 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 nope.
try that before I die. That's on my bucket list to get past the fear of being eaten by a shark while I'm swimming around down there. Because ever since I saw Jaws, I can't even swim out to the little, the wakes out there anymore. It's all I can think of is what's underneath there in that dark water. I just can't do it now. I'm a wuss.
I just recognize there are places that I'm not at the top of the food pyramid, and the ocean surprisingly.
Yes, for sure. Because I'll tell you that after I saw Jaws, it changed. I mean, my dad he did snorkeling. He was in the underwater scenes for the TV show Sea Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He did a lot of that scuba diving underwater scenes, and he had his tank signed by Lloyd Bridges and all that stuff. And he used to take me and my other sister's snorkeling a lot. And we snorkel out there by some old sunken barges out by Turkey Point, and then the Key West and stuff in Florida. And I remember I was swimming around an old barge, and I'd get those really cool glass buoys that they used to make, different sizes. Find tons of them out there, all tied to old rusty rope with old big pieces of round circled metal around them and stuff. And we'd bring them, and my mom loved them. She made all kinds of cool stuff out of those things. But that's what we would do every time we'd go. And I remember I was snorkeling around, and I came around the side of this sunken barge, and I saw a fish, and it was a sunfish. And I don't know if you've ever seen a sunfish or a grouper. Okay, they're big. I mean, they're real flat, but they're big. I mean, like 4 feet wide, or long or tall, or whatever you call that.
Oh, wow.
I think I was like 8 when this happened. We were swimming, and I remember going around, and I saw that fish head poking out around the side. And when I got around the other side, there was no fish. The whole body was gone. It was a giant bite out of it. It was gone. And I just remember looking around.
Nope.
And seeing nothing. And then all my air left, and I just went straight to the surface, started screaming. My mom came running out, but she wouldn't go in water above her waist. So she said if we ever drowned, she couldn't save us. So that's why she made us take swimming lessons. But then I swam in, and then I couldn't go back out in the water after that, because all I could think of was it was a shark that ate that fish. And it was big, because that was like at least 3.5 to 4 feet. And it was gone.
That's kind of scary.
Its head. So it was scary. Yeah, it was very scary. It scared the what out of me. And I didn't go back in the water after that. And plus, you had to watch out. If you walked in the water, if you swam, it was okay. But if you put your feet down, you might step on sea urchins, because there were sea urchins everywhere. And you had to be real careful. Or Portuguese man of wars floating everywhere too. So you had to watch out for a lot of things.
That sounds like the coastline down by Corpus Christi. There's a lot of man of war that are in the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And the few times when we had swim call in the Navy, they let the nets down off the ship, and pretty much you'd have a way to scramble back up top. And there was a couple guys that were really good shots with the M14s, and they would be ready to put a bullet through you if you got attacked by something that was bigger than your body.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could go and swim and frolic in the ocean if you like, but after the newness wore off, wow, I'm swimming in the ocean, and then you realize I don't really have to swim too hard because I'm buoyant. And this is when I was like a lot more lean, a lot less fat. Didn't have the marbling that I've got now. I can say that I was pretty respectful to the ocean. And after my 5 minutes of initial adventureness was over, I went back on the net and climbed up and got on watch and just waited. And after about maybe 40 minutes, everybody was kind of like, all right, this sucks. Let's get out. And we got up on deck, toweled off, and got back in our uniforms, and off we went, underway.
Well, it was nice to get to do that. Opportunity. Yeah, dad men walking.
Jaws did for me in the ocean.
Yeah, I see that.
So you have been a fan of Marvel Comics. Aside from Morbius, and we've talked on some others, I want to ask about the movie first, because the movie is going to be where a lot of people's interest is going to lay, because it's a movie. If you have to go hunt down.
You don't want to give any spoilers away or anything, right?
I'm not expecting any, but you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
right?
Really good. I even stayed till after the credits so I could see the little Easter eggs in the end. It makes you stay if you want to find out what's coming up. Tell everybody that.
Okay. He is a living vampire. He's not undead.
No, he was a scientist. He grew up a scientist. He was really, really smart. But his whole life, he was, I can't remember the name of the disorder, but he had a blood disorder. And most of the kids didn't live. And over time, it just slowly drained your body of energy. It was crippling. You end up having to walk with special canes or whatever, or it could cause you to be humped over, hunched over, and you're very weak and frail. So that's what he did. But he was a genius when it came to, he was like a a biochemist. Also, he had a PhD, and he was a medical doctor too. So he was really, really super smart. And so his whole life, once he was able to, and I talk about it in the movie where they send him off to special colleges and stuff because he's so smart. So he ends up coming up with, he gets like, what is that award you get? It's not the, it's like the award that Obama won, but it wasn't that award. It was for sciences, for the sciences, but you win the money.
Okay.
I don't
They
remember
give
what
you
it's
like a
called.
grant.
Yeah, well, it's some kind of special award you get for being super smart. And he had supposedly been the one who discovered and made fake blood that people could use to save people's lives. You know, because if they didn't have enough blood that was donated, you had to have something to replace it, and that's what he did. He invented this fake blood that people could use to save people's lives. Which later on, once he becomes a living vampire, he drinks it himself so that he doesn't kill people because he has to have blood.
Nobel Prize?
Yeah, Nobel Prize for sciences, though, not for like peace or anything. Whenever I say it, I always say Nobel Peace Prize, but that's not what you'd win if you did a science type thing. So that's what he won. But before he found a cure for himself, and that's what he was working on. He went to Costa Rica and captured a bunch of vampire bats to try to do DNA testing and things like that to try to change his chromosomes in his body to where they wouldn't attack him himself, so he could, you know, cure himself and his friend. He had a couple of friends. Most of his friends died at the hospital that he was, a special hospital he was in, because his name is Michael Morbius, so that's why he's called Morbius. That's his name. Just like Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, his last name was Strange.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. He just happens to be a magical doctor or whatever you want to call it. But you know, that I just think that was really cool that they did that. But the fact that they're in this one scene, they're sitting in this, him and his assistant are in there, and she puts the salt shaker where he has to reach his hand in the sunlight. This is after he's supposedly cured himself, and before he realizes how bad off he really is, you know, about his need for blood and his thirst to kill and all that stuff. He reaches for it, and his hand goes in the sun, and he goes, "I'm not that kind of vampire." So they don't try to push that he's a regular vampire or Dracula, because he's not. He's a living vampire, and that's what it says on the front of the comic books. Morbius, a living vampire, because he never dies. He just transforms himself into a vampire by trying to cure himself from a blood disorder. So if you understand a little bit more about it, the movie makes way more sense. Because people were saying that they were let down because he wasn't like Dracula, you know, because he isn't Dracula.
No, he's not. And that was something that I had to learn just from talking to people that had familiarity with it. Another streamer, Culture Casino, is really wanting to see this movie. And
Is he wanting to see it because he likes Morbius comic books?
he loves the Morbius comic books. Stage
I don't know why
4. Go ahead.
I don't know why he wouldn't like it. I don't know if he's seen it or not or whatever. I haven't seen anything from him yet. But to me, it's just like Blade. Blade's mother was bit while she was pregnant with him. So when he was born, he's a Dhampir. So he's half vampire and, you know, and half human. But that's the difference. Just like Blood Rain, her mother was raped and got pregnant by a vampire. So she's half vampire and half human. But two different ways that they became vampires. Totally different.
Okay. Hey, there's Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collected. Hello, sir. Toe nibblers.
Hello, Tommy.
He's a great guy. I wish I had gotten home in time to listen to his podcast. For all of what the comics showed you, and the movie's only what, 2 hours long?
It didn't seem like it was that long, but I guess almost 2 hours. Yeah.
And how many comics are in the Morbius line?
I don't know exactly how many. My favorite series is the Midnight Suns, and there's only 6 comic books in that series.
Okay.
Special, and it has Blade, and it has Ghost Rider, Morbius, Doctor Strange is in it sometimes, and I think trying to remember the other guy's name. And there's a woman, trying to remember her name is Lilith.
Okay.
So these aren't big characters, because people have to remember too that they were very limited, because there was so much stuff about Satanism and Satan worship, all this different stuff. So I guarantee that every time they came up with anything really good, they were told, we can't do that because it's too against the Christians, or it's too this or too that. So that was one of the reasons my mom didn't even want me to read them. So my dad bought me anything I wanted. I'd go with Dad. I was a tomboy. And I'd say, hey, Dad, I want this comic. He'd go, okay, get it. Just like guys do now. They buy, what's the same, Grand Theft Auto for their 7-year-old son, and they're picking stuff. It's the same thing.
No wonder we have such a hard time. The new generation has
it's
a hard time
terrible.
with.
But the thing is, that was my dad. He'd just say, what do you want? And I'd go pick it out, and he'd buy it. And I'd take it home, and I'd be stay in my room for 2 days reading it, because I thought it was so cool. Then I'd chase my sisters around with a cape, wanting to bite my sisters. My mom would say, that's getting rid of all these comic books. Now, I hope she didn't throw them away, because I'm hoping one day I can get them back, because they're probably worth a lot of money. I know I didn't have the original, the first introduction of Amazing Spider-Man 101, because it's like $2,000 now if it's a mint condition. It's worth a lot of money. And I could get a second edition one probably for $15 to $75, depending on what kind of condition it's in. But that is the one where he was introduced as a foe against Spider-Man. But later on, like I was showing you those pictures I sent you about Morbius fighting alongside with Spider-Man and a couple other characters. They make different teams or whatever to fight for good, because he's an anti-hero, kind of like Deadpool. He's a bad guy, but he does good stuff sometimes. Deadpool's awesome. I have Deadpool comics too, and I love the fact that Deadpool talks to you while you're reading the comic book. About what are you wasting time reading this comic book when you could be going out and really getting a girlfriend, things like that. I just thought that was cool. Who does that?
He's the only one that broke the fourth wall for a long time, and then She-Hulk did it.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what I loved about Deadpool. And Cable was, I like both. I have a few Cable and Deadpool comics, but Deadpool was like, I just really liked his character. I like Wolverine. I don't know why. You kind of seen what I like. I like Wolverine. I like Deadpool. I like Morbius. They're all guys that are like off the side a little bit, where they're not the typical nice guy, but they're not a badass either. They don't go around just killing everybody and not caring about nobody. They do have a soft side. So I guess I like the guy that's real hard on the outside and soft and gooey on the inside. That's the kind of guys I'm attracted to, apparently, because that's the kind of comic books I loved as a girl and a woman. I still love them, so I still read them. And it's just hard to find any good stuff like that today. There's a couple of pictures I took from inside the comic where he bites Spider-Man. Morbius does, and she's freaking out over it, and he's like, and Spider-Man explains that sometimes his blood, it slows down Morbius's transformation, so it helps him calm down and he can stay normal as a normal human for a while. To give him a chance to try to work on finding a cure so he's not like that anymore. Because Spider-Man, Peter Parker's always trying to be the good guy.
He's always trying to help people.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's good about his character, and that's what we love about Spider-Man. Is that no matter how powerful he is, he still wants to help others that are less fortunate than him, which makes it really good. But yeah, his team affiliations, I printed out a sheet, and it says that Morbius was in the Midnight Suns, the ones that I loved, the 6 comic books, because I just think that would be the best badass movie series. If they could actually make it like it is in the comic book, if people would read it, they would absolutely love it. If you like Blade, you see Blade fighting alongside Ghost Rider and Morbius and a few of these other characters, and they're just kick ass. I mean, who could beat these guys? You know what I'm saying? These guys were like kicking butt. I mean, they were just so awesome, and they fight all the other bad dark arts that were trying to come from the underworlds or whatever, and to destroy people on our planet or in other realms. And they were able to, fight them all off. And I just thought that was super neat. And I don't know, I just really thought it was very interesting, and I really liked it. But they also fought with, Shield. They did jobs for Shield as the Midnight Suns, but Morbius did. He did a lot of stuff, and he also fought with the Legions of Monsters. A lot of people like the zombie MCU zombie, side or whatever. I never really got into any of that.
I didn't get into that when I saw
I didn't
that.
like zombies. I just thought I like The Walking Dead. I have every one of their comics, and I have them in hardback, and I have autographed lithographs. Tons of stuff, collectibles, MREs, just tons of stuff. I even have my Negan doll that I bought, just different stuff like that, because I love The Walking Dead, but I didn't like the Marvel Universe Walking Dead people. I just never got into any of those characters. It just never really rung my bell like vampires did. Or the Werewolf by Night. He's one of the people I think he fights alongside with him in a couple of the comic books. Depends. But what I really loved in the movie, which it won't be really giving it away, is that Morbius was able to see like sound waves because of his vampire part. This sound, he could send out a sonic wave, and he could detect things and hear from long distances and stuff. That's one of his superpowers. But that's his ability to be able to fly, was by using the different wavelengths in the air and stuff, which is really cool. And they seem to do really good job to me, since I liked it so much, being able to see how they did it in the movie. And when you see the pulses come out from his body, you can see them, because you'd think it would go through and damage all the buildings, because that's not what it is. It's sound. You know what I'm saying? He's like sending out a sonar so he can see where the buildings are and where the people are, just like I would.
I'd like to see him and Daredevil in a comic.
That'd probably be pretty good.
That would be interesting.
Because Daredevil is deaf. Or blind. So he uses his sense of his hearing to help him be able to detect where things are and how things, what's going on around him that he can't see that other people, because his enhanced senses are with sound. And that's what I'm saying. That's basically but Morbius is way off the charts. His is like,
his power level exceeds that.
Yeah, it's very, very, I just thought it was really good. And he also, there's comic books that come, a few comic books with Carnage, from that part of the MCU, where Venom and Carnage and Morbius helps assist Spider-Man and Venom a few times in different comic books. So he's not just a nobody character. He's just a character that most people didn't pay that much attention to because they weren't into vampires or whatever. But see, I looked for anything I could find that had him in it, because I liked vampires. I like Blade. I like Ghost Rider. I like those types of characters that had to do with the dark arts. That's why I absolutely love Doctor Strange. And the fact that he's really good looking really helps, when I went to the movies. But he doesn't really look like the character from the comic book. But, I can get aside that. Just like I love Wolverine. Wolverine is a short, stocky, Wolverine-looking guy. He's hairy. He's just not attractive in any way, that you would think of. Well, really hairy.
Really?
Yeah, he's very animalistic, and that's what a lot of the women liked it. Like Mystique in the comic books, she had a child with Wolverine. She was turned on by him because he was animal-like, and a lot of women liked that. But when I saw the preview that they were going to have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, I wasn't very happy about it, because I was like, what? He's way too tall and everything to be Wolverine. He's not buff, he's not, bulked up or anything. And then my sister made me watch the movie Swordfish with
him and Halle Berry.
Yeah, and I thought he did a really good job in that. He looked kind of muscular and stuff, but I still was like, eh. But then when I saw him portray the character and tried to look past exactly what he looked like, and I could see the passion in his acting to try to be this person. So
Yes.
I gave him a pass on that. So I was able to accept the fact that this wasn't a guy that looked just like the guy I wanted him to be. And I hope the next time they make one, they have him in the yellow and they have a short, stocky guy play him. I think it'd be, if they can act and the story's good, I think I'll really love it. So I can go past a little bit on whether they look just like them or if they're the same height or whatever. I can get past that kind of stuff. But you can tell when you watch something whether the person likes the character they're portraying. I think that's why I liked Michael Keaton as Batman too. I wasn't a real big Batman person, but I loved the Joker. See, the Joker, I loved the TV show because my dad loved that show. So I watched, I don't know how many reruns of Batman on TV, and it was campy and goofy, but that's what made him special. So when I got to see Jack Nicholson be the Joker, I just fell in love with him because he was so campy and stupid. And the Penguin character, campy as heck. I mean, totally to me, Danny DeVito could be the Penguin. So, it's just certain things about certain characters and whether they're able to bring that character to life in their own way. You know what I mean? To make it their character. And it can be 5 different people. If they do a good job at it, then they're believable. And then I'll like it. But that's me. I mean, not everybody's like that. But that's how I am. That's how I'm accepting to certain people and their characters. But I was going to tell you that in one of the comic books, and I can't remember the name of it. Gosh, I'm so bland for some reason. I just can't get over it. But the woman, Morbius was punished for the murders he committed before he was able to control his problem. Yeah, his addiction or whatever you want to call it. His curse, he calls it now. It's a curse, even though he saved himself, but now he's like a anti-superhero or whatever. But so they put him in prison, but they gave him a chance to use the top labs and stuff through Shield and to try to come up with a cure. Well, the woman that was one of his assistants in the lab, it was, I can't remember what her name is when she's not the She-Hulk. What's her name? The She-Hulk's real name from the comic book. God, I can't remember her name. Driving me crazy. But she was one of the people that helped him in the laboratory before she was She-Hulk. So see, there's lots of connections when you read the comic book and put the people together. That there's lots of people working together in the stories, and they connect here and there depending on what stories you're reading, and you get to see how these people all connect with each other. So they can be brought in, even though the ending, I'm not going to say who was in there, but the person they brought in to be with Morbius, I think for the next Spider-Man movie, they might be going to use them in it somehow or something. But I don't know how they're going to link them together because these two people were not on the same teams, anything that I know of. So it might be very interesting how they decide to interact these people. So I'm excited about that in a way.
Mama Bear says Elizabeth Banner, I think.
Maybe if she's She-Hulk and she was a scientist or whatever, then that's her. But she was one of the people that was given to him to help him work in the lab to try to find a cure for himself.
So do you, I'm going to go on a hypothetical just for a moment. Do you think this is building towards a more Midnight Suns, or do you think this is going towards more of a intersection where they have a Spider-Man, Morbius, Marvel team up?
One of the people, another friend of mine that's on Twitter that's into comic books and stuff, he was telling me that Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man and they own the rights to all Spider-Man's foes. So anyone that Spider-Man fought with, they will be able to use in their movies. So as long as Morbius is his foe, they will use him in this, and then maybe they'll bring him back into the MCU when he becomes not a foe anymore, when he's more of a anti-hero like Deadpool. When that part comes, remember that comic book I was telling you, when he was introduced to Amazing Spider-Man, I think it was in 1971, something like that, and it was Amazing Spider-Man 101, and I can't remember the name of it. I think it was Morbius, the living vampire or whatever. That was when he was first introduced into the comic books. And the writer, I'm trying to remember what his name was. Let me see. The penciler, the guy that drew the pictures was Gil Kane, Kane.
I remember that name.
And Roy Thomas was the writer that came up with the character for Morbius, Michael Morbius. So they introduced him as a foe, a villain. But he was in the Midnight Suns. He wasn't a villain. Remember, he was fighting along with Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider and stuff. So he was already an anti-hero by then. So whatever they're doing now, it's more of him being a villain than it is, even though he's a good guy. If you watch and like the character, you see that what happened to him really isn't, he didn't know this was going to happen to him. And then he fights other people that are doing bad things with the same type of illness that he's got, a cure or whatever. So he's really a good guy, but they see him as a bad guy because he's, on the run or whatever. Just like the Punisher, basically, anti-hero. And there's lots of anti-heroes in the MCU. And everywhere you look, comic books, basically, they're all anti-heroes. I mean, if you think about it, they all do something wrong, like the Winter Soldier, everyone does something bad and gets in trouble for it. But I think that we as Americans like the bad boy, the bad boy that goes for the right reason. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's like trying to right wrongs or whatever, and we can all see or put ourselves in that position because all of us have been wronged in our life in some way, by someone growing up. We're all bullied or someone took something from you that wasn't theirs and you were spent years trying to get it back or whatever it is. We can all connect with those people, like the Punisher trying to get revenge. I've got a couple Punisher comic books too. But us trying to get revenge for us being wronged, and the government won't help us. No one else will help us, so we have to figure out how to do it by ourselves. And that's what these people do in these comic books, and we root them on, even though they do some bad things they're not supposed to.
The movie right now I want to see more than anything else is Everything Everywhere All at Once with Michelle Yeoh, and I need to see that.
So what's it about?
It's a multiverse movie where this lady splits through various versions of Earth, and in each one, she's taken a different pathway at different times in the present and in the past, where she's like been a ninja, she's been a Hell's Kitchen chef, basically. She's been a mother, she's been all these different things, and she starts realizing that somehow she's able to go from one to another, to another, to another, to another. And it looks like a really good movie. And that's been what I've been trying to get time to go see. And
well, can I ask a question? Why is she trying to go to the different? Is there something she's trying to find, or is she trying to find something she lost? Or
I think she's trying to figure out why is she able to do this, and why does she feel fractured? So it looks like it's an interesting self-discovery movie, but Michelle Yeoh is not she's not a spring chicken. She's like at my age, maybe a little older, but she looks so good in this movie because she looks like she's very convincing in all of these motions and all the movements, no matter what she's doing, be it dancing, cutting up carrots, sword fighting, no matter what, she sounds very good.
Well, you have to send me the link on Discord so I can check that out. It sounds like an interesting movie myself. I might like to watch.
Yeah.
Is it at the theater?
It's at the theater right now. Okay. It's just like I said, I've not had time to go view it. A lot of miniatures to paint, so that sort of thing.
I can tell. Behind me, a lot to do.
So, the near future. I know you've got some things going on in your personal life, and so whenever we have things going on there, um, what hobbies? I know you play video games with family. You're doing a bunch of other things. What are the hobbies you're trying to get into? You're writing a book right now, correct?
Yes, I'm. Well, I think I'm on my last chapter because I already have the ending written. I just have to get where I'm at from chapter 10 to the end, and I think I might be able to do that in the last chapter, which will be chapter 11.
For those of you that want to know about this book of hers, it is there in the chat. There's the link for it, booksy.com, Revelation by Jackie Blue.
Yeah, yeah, that's my pen name.
I was seeing Jackie Blue in the chat, and I'm like,
Yeah,
do I have another fan?
that's me. That's me.
Hi.
That's for that only. I only use her for my writing stuff. She's not connected to Janet from Another Planet.
Looks like we have some things going on in the chat there. It happens. I mean, some people get really stupid and vindictive.
I didn't see it. I didn't know what it was. But the pictures I make too. I make pictures with the rhinestones.
Yeah, can you send me a couple of links on that in the Discord? And I would love to share that with our friends in the chat here. And for those that are going to watch this on the repeat, I'm going to keep this video up for the ages because a lot of people have heard of Janet from Another Planet, and you're in a few kind of circles and such. I know Tommy knows of you. I know you're hanging around with the cultures and the Drews and the comics division people. Sometimes I've heard your name come out of Gary Nerdrotic's mouth.
Yeah, I made a logo. Okay, years ago when I first started watching, Doomcock and Nerdrotic, and they did this show called the
High Strangeness or something like that.
Oh, it was
like a UFO.
They did the UFO one, and it was, I can't remember the name of it right this second. I'm terrible for some reason.
I'm drawing blank too.
Sorry. But and then the other one was the Inquisition. I love Inquisition. I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorite shows. I never missed it. And the UFO one. So those are the first two I started watching and on a regular basis. And it just crushed me when them two just stopped doing the shows together. But then from there, I started watching Friday Night Tights. Then I linked off and I started watching, where the comics division stuff started coming in, and all the people that related to comics division. Because to me, comics division was what Gary basically was at the very beginning. It was like all kinds of different subjects they were talking about, and everyone was just themselves, and they were just funny. It was entertaining for the chat because of interaction between the panel. And I love that. I think that's what keeps me coming back to Comics Division's channel. I love it. And I love Culture Casino. I love Sir Talks a Lot. I love all those different characters. And that's when I first saw Drew on there when they were doing Beware the Drew and, all that stuff. And I just think it's hilarious because we don't have enough of that for entertainment to where you can get away from. I don't even watch television anymore. I hardly watch anything except for a few series like the Last Kingdom. I've watched The Expanse. I've watched Yellowstone. There's 5 or 6 different shows that I really liked, and I've watched them all the way through, which were really good. And then I absolutely loved all of the comic book movies and stuff. I thought they were really, really good. But it's good. And I love Star Trek. I've loved Star Trek since I was a kid. My dad loved Star Trek. I love to go to Comic-Cons. I love to dress up in Star Trek clothes. I dress up as an Andorian. I've got, I've made my own costumes for lots of stuff because I just love that stuff. I just enjoy it. And I have a Firestar comic books. There's 4 of them, a series. And
wait, Firestar from the old Spider-Man and Friends cartoon?
Well, it was a comic book. I never watched the cartoon. Hold on, let me
I thought Firestar was a creation for that cartoon.
This was made, it's called Firestar, okay, and I have all 4. And the second comic book is got Wolverine on the cover, introduction of Wolverine in the brown uniform, and I'm going to take a picture of it. I'm going to send it to you so you can see it. I had the whole series right here, and I took all 4 of these to go see Stan Lee because he's the only one left alive at the time to get these autographed. Okay.
God, I
A
missed that. Man.
VIP ticket, and I went for 2 days wearing my costumes and stuff, having a great time. And then the day I was supposed to go on Sunday, he was sick and didn't go. So I didn't get this autographed, and then he died. So I will never get this autographed, but I still have this. This is my favorite. This is my favorite girl comic book. And I wasn't into many girls. Wonder Woman. I like Firestar. There's a couple of them. Jean Grey. Different ones like that I really liked. But I liked tough women.
See, I like Firestar because while she was like powerful, she was womanly.
She's a lady.
Yes.
That's what my mom said. I read it if it was about ladies. Girls that had manners and things like that. So that's what I did. Okay.
I mean, for those, I'm gonna pull this up here.
I'm sending it to you on Discord.
Okay.
But
while you're doing that,
I love Wolverine, and I'm like, I've never seen him in any of the Wolverine comics that I've ever bought in the brown uniform. So where did the brown uniform come from?
Guys, this is what I was going into puberty staring at this. Okay. And yeah, that only happened in the cartoons.
Yeah.
That was one of the coolest cartoons growing up in the single digits, going into like 9 and 10. Yeah, nowadays,
this series is her when she's a young girl up until she becomes a woman at the very end in the 4th comic. But you can see when she discovers her powers and stuff, and how Dr. Xavier comes and helps her and stuff like that. It's really good. It's a really good series. Yeah, Red Sonja was good too. I liked her.
See, I watched this really bad movie with Red Sonja in it. It's fun to watch, but it's a bad movie.
Yeah, but that's like Blood Rain. They made a movie from this game, and it was terrible. The movie was so bad. It almost ruined me. It almost ruined me from ever wanting to play the game again. But I had to separate. I just had to, in my brain, say, this is not her. This is just some crappy actress trying to be her, and it's not her. So it helped a little bit. But
yeah, and that's the bad thing. I like Christiana Loken. That's like,
well,
that was my girlfriend way back in the day. She dressed up like her from the Terminator movie, and there was a difference because Christiana was kind of shorter, and she wasn't like 5'9" to my knowledge, and she pulled off pretty convincingly, but it was nice. Thank you, Baron G-Rock. I'm going to pull something up here so you guys can see what I'm showing. Here we go. All right.
There you go.
That right there.
Freaking awesome. That's the second one.
Passion Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. Very good. She's kicking his butt. But yep, I liked her. But see, I got tons of these around my house. I got tons of series. I like series, that's what I normally would do. I'd buy a series of this, a series of that, and read the story. The whole story. It was almost like having a movie in my mind. But I really did love it. And I've opened all mine, so none of mine are mint. I don't have any mint. The only ones I have that are mint right now are my the one set I have of the Midnight Suns. Because everything else I've opened, and I've been dying to open the Midnight Suns because each one has a little lithograph in it, and you put them all together from the 6, and it makes one big poster. And I would love to see what the poster looks like. I'm gonna have to look it up and see if I can find out. That would be nice. But see, Morbius has one of his abilities is super healing. but he can't even heal as good as Wolverine. As fast
Yeah.
and recover. So, even though he did this to himself, he's still got weaknesses compared to other people. With powers.
That's the first time I've seen the words Gru the Wanderer for the last 10 or 15 years. I used to have a card game for that. Yeah, I don't have mint comic books. I read all mine, especially the guys from Comicsgate.
Yeah, I have a couple friends that they buy comics and they never open them. They just buy them because they like the cover or whatever. And some of them they buy, they're expensive, so they're not going to buy two of them. They're just buying the one. And I'm like, I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it. I could barely stand to look at that comic set right over there and not open them right now. I mean, this room is packed with crap. And I have crap in every single room in my house. So I have lots of stuff. But I can help it. I mean, I go somewhere or I see it in an ad in the newspaper where I don't see the newspapers anymore, but like someone would be selling it. Hey, I thought you might want it. Or someone gives me things as gifts. I'll take a picture of this and send it to you. I just got this. Is one of my newest gifts I got. I'm going to wind it up. I'll make a video and send it to you. Itsy Bitsy Spider. So I guess you can guess what it comes from. But
For you people that I got to shill somebody here. This guy, the memes of destruction.
yeah,
For you guys that are looking for just a solution to getting better in shape, this character, this guy in our chat right now, he's got an Instagram, and the guy for a full year, he did this routine where he did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and he ran 10 kilometers a day. That's all he did. And he looked like, just a regular dude at the start, and now he looks like a total Chad. So if you guys just want to change your fucking life, you don't have to go to a gym. You don't got to buy stupid supplements. You just have to commit yourself and do something. Just get yourself going. All right. Sorry, memes. I had to say that.
that's great.
No, the dude's ripped. Well, not ripped, but like he's definitely stacked a hell of a lot better than what he was at the start. Sorry.
Yeah, I work out every day myself on the elliptical though, because I hurt my knee when I was 16 and I broke the clutch off of a motorcycle on my knee, and my knee hurts me real bad if I don't work out. So the more I work out, the better my knee feels, which is weird. But a lot of people don't realize you can hurt yourself when you're young, and by the time you're in your 40s, it's killing you. The best thing for you to do is to stay in shape. Exercise every day, make a habit of it. Whether you walk every day or just do sit-ups. Or I can't do sit-ups either because I hurt my back playing softball. So I do machines, where I do sit-ups on the machine, the place I go, and I try to eat right and drink lots of water. So the only thing wrong with me health-wise is allergies. I have to get allergy shots every 2 weeks. And I'm on my second round. The first time I did it was 5 years before I finished my maintenance dose. And I'm on my almost 4 years now on this time. But it's the state I live in. Louisiana and Arkansas are not kind to my body. I need to live in like Arizona or Nevada, somewhere like that. And I'd probably be way healthier if it wasn't for my allergies. I'd feel great.
I used to love playing volleyball.
Beach volleyball's fun.
Yeah. The sand doesn't hurt so bad. And if you guys want to follow Janet, she has got some amazing pickup lines, life advice. She's got funnies. She brings the funny every day. And check out her Instagram right there. It's in the chat. Go ahead, highlight it, add her to your friends' retinue, and just enjoy, because you'll get some daily doses of positivity, and you'll see a person going through she's like every one of us. She, don't think that, oh my God, she's a babe. Yes, she's a babe, but at the same time, listen, she's somebody who goes through the same pitfalls and tribulations as all of us do. Okay, so
We're
it's
all human.
yes, we're all human. Yeah, the sit-ups bug my gut. I like doing leg lifts. Leg lifts are better. And if you have somebody that can shove your ankles down while you're holding on to their ankles and you're fighting and bringing them back up and they shove it back down again, you get somebody that can do that with you and enjoy that. That is a wonderful stomach workout. For those of you that are susceptible to hernias, do it slowly.
I've never had anybody hold my feet, do that for me. Just stick my feet under the dresser. And it works pretty good.
Janet's in really good physical shape. Yeah, start your core, do it very gently, and start working up from there.
That's what I did. I just worked out, and then when I'd stop sweating, because I do the same routine, for 3 weeks, and then I didn't sweat anymore. So then I'd up the tension, on my level, and now I'm at 11. I do the same thing, and I go all the way up to 11, and then go back down, to bring my heart rate back down again, and to sweat. That's how much I've gotten up. So
See, last year I went to the hospital for about 3 weeks. I was in the hospital with the Wu flu, and I had one of these things. I'd never had one of these in my life.
you have to suck on it.
Say again?
You suck on it, right?
Actually, yeah, suck on it.
Yeah.
I've got another one where I have to literally blow, and this is called pretty much I forget the name of this. They call it a grenade, and basically you blow on this, and it like literally vibrates all the crap loose in your chest.
That's good.
So I've been doing this daily. Plus, I do push-ups occasionally at work. I do a lot of work associated with my job, hauling around hoses, picking up hoses with fluid running through them. And so I do get my workout in. I just am fat, and I live in Texas, so working out in the heat, really not a good combination. I'd rather just go for the core workout and go for make sure that I can do things above my shoulders, push a loaded hose above my shoulders a few times, and I'm happy. My shoulders, my arms got really weak last year, but I've gotten back everything I lost, except for I'm not as big as I was, thank God.
Well, the thing is, each person is different. No matter how many sit-ups or workouts you're going to do, you're either built that way or you're not. So I've done tons of sit-ups, and I still don't have, the 3, 1, 2, 3, abs. I can't see them. I just have, I'm flatter, but I don't have the definition. And I don't want to work out and have, manly arms. I just want to be toned. I just want my skin to be toned, and I just want to feel good. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to just stay feeling good, where I can bend over and touch my toes and my back isn't hurting, or I don't hear a bunch of crackling going on. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want.
I love to hear the cracking. I do that 2 or 3 times a day. And I just love to hear that entire thing go right up your spine. And
well, I grab a hold of the door frame and I just stretch myself, stretch my back. And plus I have a one of those, I don't know what to call them, the things you strap your ankles in and you turn yourself upside down.
The inversion tables.
Inversion table. My sister gave it to me because her husband used to use it, and he got tired of it. So I said, well, I'll buy it from you. So I got it from her, and I use it, and I love it. I only use it once a day. That's all you need. And I just hang there for about 2 or 3 minutes, and it feels great. So it's, it just depends on what you can get your hands on. But, anything that you can do for yourself to make you healthier, like cardio, if you feel like you just need more energy, whatever, the cardio is all you need, depending on what you're looking for. But if you want to have like big on, oh my God, I can't even do that. I can't even do one push up.
I love these. This is my death roll or my death roller. I can do about 10 of these from a plank and then get up to my hips, and that after 10 my body is vibrating at 44 hertz.
That's really good because I can't. I've tried it. I wear weights on my arms, 2-pound weights on my wrists when I do all my workouts. But I cannot do, I think I can do 1 or 2 chin lifts where I pull myself up, but I can't do push-ups because my one wrist is bad. One wrist, I had to have surgery. I had de Quervain syndrome. You've ever heard of that?
I have.
Okay. Well, because I do a lot of typing because I write, I write screenplays and stories and short stories, things like that. And I have another website for that stuff, but I don't give that out because it has my real name on it. So I'm very, very careful about it because I have gotten death threats, YouTube. So I'm very careful about people knowing my real name.
Yeah, I was on a stream a couple nights back, and I said a friend's name just kind of under my breath, saying, "Oh, hello," and she texted me in chat like, "Please don't say that." I'm like, "I'm sorry, forgive me." It was. I mean, not that my streams have hundreds of people on them anyway, but I mean, I didn't say her full name, her full birth name, but I messed up.
Well, when I first did I used to send my sisters and cousins and other relatives and friends videos. I'd make goofy videos like the one where I don't know if you saw that one where I'm on my elliptical and I'm saying, well, look out, Wolverine, I'm coming for you. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because if you see my office, the picture I'm looking at in front of my elliptical is Wolverine, bunches of different lithographs of Wolverine and Captain America. And I have them all put together because they're some of my favorite ones. And I look at them, it's like I don't know, make me want to do well. It makes me want to do the best I can to finish my workout. And that's what I was looking at him, and it just popped in my head. So I made that video. Okay. And I sent it to all my friends and stuff. And they were like, this is hilarious. You need to start a TikTok channel. And I'm like, what? No way. And so I finally said, okay, I'll try it, see what happens. And I'm doing pretty good on TikTok. But then YouTube came out with shorts. So when YouTube came out with shorts, I went, I'm going to go ahead and do a YouTube channel and just do nothing but shorts on it. People keep saying, oh, you'll do more. And I went, nah, because I'm still not interested. I'm just not interested in doing what everyone else does. I want to do what I want to do, and I'm just going to do what I like to do and what I enjoy doing. And that's what I'm doing. If it doesn't fit in that area of what I do right now, I'm not going to put it on my YouTube channel because to me, that's not who Janet from Another Planet is. She's a therapist. She's there to help people help themselves, basically, and to laugh at themselves, that kind of thing. And that's what I like about her. That's who she is. And I'm going to keep it that way. So it might take me a long, long time to get 1,000 watch hours when you got a 25-second video.
I don't know. You're doing really good on your subscribers, aren't you? How many subscribers on YouTube do you have?
I think I have 280 or something, but I started in August of last year. So.
Yeah, that you're rocking.
But I only do shorts. Good. That's it. So, and I have almost I got 7,400, I think, subscribers on TikTok. And I do different videos on there than I do on YouTube. And then I don't put any of my 18 and older on anything but YouTube. Because I use a dirty word in it or whatever. I don't show skin. People think you have OnlyFans and all that stuff. I'm like, no, I don't do that stuff.
Why would you want to ruin things?
Well, because a million people.
That's just where my mentality is,
You know what I mean? Yeah. But the thing is, a million people already do that. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it to keep me. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I get up and I do this stuff because it's what's in my head and it's who I am, basically. Even though it's not me, it's a persona of me, but it's still in my core. It's me. That's who I am, basically. And it comes across in some videos and sometimes it doesn't, but a lot of my personality is in these characters or in her character. So that's who I am. But it's just funny because a lot of people will say that stuff, and I'm like, there's a million of those women on YouTube right now, already.
They're already on OnlyFans. If you want to see skin, there's plenty of them that never got their dad's attention.
I got plenty of attention from my daddy.
You got
Best dad
if
ever,
your daddy ever saw you like on some of your shorts, I'm pretty certain he wouldn't spare the rod.
Well, maybe, but he has seen some of my videos. Because if you go and you look through it, if you knew who my dad's name was, you'd see him on there. So he has watched a few of my videos, and he just laughs. He thinks they're funny. Because I told you, I do little routines at home. My sisters and I used to dress up as grown-up women. We'd go visit my parents, and we'd sing like the Hanky Panky song by Madonna. Okay. And dance around the house and, be stupid like that. So they have 5 daughters. Okay. So there ain't much I don't think they've seen or haven't seen, if you know what I'm saying. You got 5 teenage girls. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, I'm sure it would probably be just as bad if she had 5 sons, but I didn't have any brothers. I was basically the brother. So I don't know. That's just the way it is.
I just want to shake your dad's hand. He made it through, and he's getting grandkids, with 5 daughters.
Yeah, he's got a lot of grandkids. He's enjoying it. And I got one of my sisters. Are you on Twitter?
No, I was, but me and Twitter, we have problems.
Well,
whatever.
I'm on my 4th account on Twitter because all the other ones I used to have was all politics and stuff. So when I started this one, I just put my comic book stuff and I love Star Trek. That's it. And I try to keep it minimal to that. Well, my sister, her husband is got a job overseas right now. Okay. And he's working over there. So she's lonely and stuff. And I'm always telling her about all the stuff I'm doing on Twitter and the spaces and all the different things they're doing. So I talked her into getting a Twitter account. So she started a Twitter, and then the first thing she does is go into a space and tell, "Hi, I'm Janet from Another Planet Sister." So now she's already getting all my some of my real crazy people that follow me on Twitter are following her now. But I said, I don't know why you did that. I don't know. You just wanted to see yourself suffer. But she's on there. She's enjoying it so far. We'll see how it works. But Twitter isn't for everyone. It's a rough area, a rough place to be sometimes.
I really despise it. And the thought that we think that we need to have it as a town square, that kind of makes me upset because I don't value a town square that doesn't treat every voice equally. That's my biggest problem with it.
Yeah, me too.
Go ahead.
Me too. That's all I was saying. I agree with you. I feel the exact same way.
That's why I go to Gab. That's why I go to Minds. Minds is my favorite so far. Out of all the social media I've ever been on, Minds has been fantastic.
I love that too.
Yeah, I think you and I just added each other just the other day.
I didn't know you were on Minds, but I added you. So we are following each other in that. And plus, I'm also on Truth Social. I'm not really enjoying it as much as I was hoping I would.
It's going through that. I'll just say this, and I'm not defending anybody, but when Truth Social was building up, there was a lot of people already built in that said, I'm going to get on there. I'm going to get on there. I'm going to get on there. And when they opened the floodgates just on one platform of iOS, that literally got 700,000 people in. And so they're going to have a harder time with that than what Parler did, than what Twitter did. Facebook was a college app for the longest time.
Yeah.
And you used it, like professors would use Facebook, and then finally, I guess, got opened up or people discovered it. But that was at the same time where GeoCities was on the way out, and MySpace was the king of the hill. And I've got to say that I kind of miss MySpace.
I loved MySpace. I loved that I could put music on there. It was just so, to me, it was more personable. You could put more of your personality onto it.
I mean, there's nothing stopping me from putting another profile together on MySpace. It's just that I would get nothing but bots from Ghana trying to say, I'm an American soldier, send me money. I'm on deployment in Nigeria.
I'm
What?
thinking about doing a series on that because I get at least 6 a week on TikTok, fakes, scammers or what do you want to call it? And I get like 3 or 4 a week on Twitter. And I've been keeping all my, chats with these people and talking to my sister about maybe doing something with me to do something about scammers and about what to do and showing these people's names and stuff. I don't know if I'd be allowed to do that or not. But I'm really thinking about it because I've done like 4 or 5 videos on my Janet from Another Planet about do not give your personal information to people, all this kind of stuff, because it's sad to me because they send you this thing and it's almost like a script. Once you get so many of them a week,
And you start seeing the patterns in it.
yeah, it's like, hello, pretty, hello, this, blah, blah, blah. And it's almost the same thing. But then I'm like, you can see I have cartoon eyes and glasses, it's so funny. And this one guy, I even started a WhatsApp just so I could talk to some of these people with a fake account, fake email and everything. And the funny thing is, he's saying, "Oh, please, I want to be better friends with you." Blah blah blah. So I said, "Sure, come on over. Let's get over there." I get him on there, and he goes, "Will you send me a picture?" And I said, "Sure." I sent him the exact picture that he looked at on TikTok, the one you're seeing right now on my deal. And he's like, "What's this?" And I went, "You asked for my picture," and he goes, "But that's not real you." And I go, "That's a picture you said was so pretty on TikTok. You don't like it now? What's wrong with it?" And then he's all pissy and everything. It's all mad. So I just blocked him. But the thing is, it's ridiculous. And then what's sad is I'm like, real people have to give them money or something because they wouldn't keep doing it. Why are they so prevalent? Because somebody's giving them information and money. So I try to tell people, please don't talk to these people. I had one guy, he said he was Keanu Reeves. Well, I've worked in the industry before, and Keanu Reeves does not have Twitter. He's not even on any social media that I know of at all.
No.
And so he's sending me this stuff, and he's saying, "Oh, I want you to meet me. Come, I'll fly you to California. We'll get on a yacht, and we'll take the weekend, and we'll sail to Florida." And I was like, "We'll sail to Florida in the weekend?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Are we going to use the Panama Canal?" And he's like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "How are we going to get from California all the way to Florida in one weekend in a teeny yacht that you're telling me about? There's no way to do that in 2 days, in less than 2 days, basically. By the time he was saying he was going to fly me out there and all this stuff, there's no way he could have done it." And then he quit talking to me. But what I'm saying is that it's sad that all these people are giving him money or something. And then he's telling another fake Keanu Reeves tells me he wants $600 so he can buy some phones for his ADs. And I'm like, you're on a set and you have ATs that don't have a way to communicate with you? That doesn't make any sense. Because I know that's a lie. It's stupid and that it ridiculous, and it's sad to think that real people would actually send them money on PayPal or whatever. But what they do is they try to get you to make a nasty video, get on a live stream or whatever with them on whatever app they're on, and they record you, and then they send you the recording and say they're going to blackmail you, you're going to put it on all your social media if you don't pay them with Bitcoin or whatever other way that they want to get money. So they do it to men and women. And if you send them pictures, even just snapshots, real pictures of you, they use your pictures to make new accounts.
Yep.
So that, because see, I use TinEye and a couple other facial recognition software so that you can, if somebody sends me a picture, that's the first thing I'm doing is I'm putting these pictures off their profile. Click, 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 one after the other. Search and see if they're already used on another scamming website. And if they are, then I take a picture of it and I send it back to them and say, "Hey, why is your picture on all these scam sites?" "What? Someone stole my picture?" Like that. And so I'm like, get lost or whatever. But it's just terrible. And I try to help people and give them knowledge. Use TinEye, look up the picture. If it's not on there, that doesn't mean he's not a scammer. That just means he's got a new picture from somebody. Because if he asks you for money or he asks you for personal information, you don't give it to him. It's just like if you walked up into a guy at a bar or at the grocery store and he comes up, "Hey, what's your social security number?" Are you going to give it to him? No. He's a stranger. You don't know this person. Please don't give out your good information.
No. Janet, I want to do another interview with you or another night where we have a chat and I just like there's more like you do a lot of really cool things. I mean, really cool things. And I would like if you want to do this again, like in the next week or two, that'd be
I
great.
love it. It's fun. I love
Yeah.
talking about my stuff. No, I'm just kidding. I love talking about anything. I mean, if I know anything about it, I love talking about politics, even though you probably don't want to talk about politics, but anything that I know anything about, I'll be happy to talk about. I'll even talk about things I don't know anything about. That doesn't mean I know what I'm talking about because I don't, but that's it. No, I love to chat, as you can tell.
It's 10:30 over here, and I told some people that I would be available for yelling at parked cars. Not that I'd be in the panel, but like yelling at parked cars is on tonight, and you and I we're always kind of around this group of people that are yelling at parked cars.
Yeah,
And
I'll go with you over there. Watch whatever you can do.
These I don't know if my crew that's in the chat tonight right now in our chat, this is where we're going to, and we're just going to hang out in the chat like you guys have done tonight. Really, thank you so much for being in the chat and for chatting as much as you have. Guys, if you like what you hear from Janet, subscribe to her. She does have a TikTok. She has an Instagram. She has a YouTube. If you like what she has to say, if you like what she has, subscribe to her. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. And appreciate you guys for being here. Janet, you want to say anything before we go?
Thank you, everybody. I wrote that I love all of you. And even if you don't like everything I have to say, I have Discord. And if you want to talk to me on Discord, you can ask me questions. I'll make a video and answer your question, especially if it's not, a dirty question. I don't like to answer that many of the dirty questions unless I have to put it on YouTube for 18 and over. That'd be the only reason I would put it on there. But I don't do anything. I just answer your questions. But you can ask me anything. And if it's something just personal, you want some advice on something, if you think I might be able to help you, I would love to help you out with that, even though I'm not a therapist. I'm just a person, but I can help you as a friend in any way that I possibly can. But I really had fun tonight. Thank you so much, Bruce, for having me on and letting me talk about Morbius. And I still love the movie. So hopefully, if you guys will research a little bit about who Morbius is and then you go see the movie, you might actually really think it's good.
Cool.
Because I really did like it. I'd even watch it again. I'd even go to the movies again to see it. That's how much.
How many times do you hear people say they want to see a movie twice?
Not very often.
Not these days. Thank you, everybody, for being part of tonight. And thank you, Janet, for being on.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
All right. We're going to head over to yelling at parked cars for a while. Thank you for being with us tonight, guys. And we'll see you